Hey, it's 7 grains of salt. Ibuprofen. Reasons for the deaths in Italy? Well, apparently some have been talking about this, and it was even in the BBC website. The NHS website previously recommended both paracetamol and ibuprofen, but has since changed its advice. There's also some evidence linking ibuprofen to more severe illnesses, more other respiratory infections. There are many studies that suggest ibuprofen used during a respiratory infection can result in worsening the disease or other complications. And that's what I've heard as well. You should not be taking Advil if you have any heart conditions. So were these the reasons for the deaths? Well, we'll never know, but some are suggesting this, and then they're saying that it's fake news. I don't know. All I know is these two products are very highly used, especially in the States. It's what I bring back from the States when I come back here to Finland. So all I'm saying is be very cautious and be very careful. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say anything more. Maybe some of you guys have some advice and also maybe some experience, so you can help me as well figure this all out with everyone at the same time. That's what we're doing, is helping each other, and that's why I'm going to show you many links right now and discussions about this. Let's start here though quickly. Let's start with this clip from Face Like the Sun and a few words that Ivanka had said.
The audio here, because she mentioned something. She says a phrase that I think all of us are familiar with, especially those who've read books written by the elite, such as Aldous Huxley.
So it's Monday morning here in DC as we wake up to this brave new world.
Brave New World, Ivanka Kushner, who is a Shabbat member. You can watch my videos on Trump to find more information, but not a trustworthy person, and her father, no, is not a Christian who has never, ever repented in his life. But let's move on. A lot of people have a lot of good information, but we have to keep each other on our toes, because sometimes we do find mistakes, and we share them, and it's unfortunate. It does happen, so we have to keep each other on our toes. Okay, so that being said, here is a clip from this young lady here. Let's listen.
Plan to go from door to door and take samples to find out who has been infected and who hasn't, and also about isolation camps, and that, yes, and later I received a picture, and I believe it's really that they do some data capture and to find out who's a Christian, who's a disciple, who's an enemy. They have to rule out these things, and all these people who are an enemy to the system. And of course the weak, the old ones, they will be taken to the isolation camps and most probably not return. The last few days I read a lot again about Hitler and the Second World War, and it really reminded me of this. So I believe it's true, and this is what they're gonna do. And the way they describe it, it doesn't exist like this. Of course there is corona, there's also influenza, there's the flu, but it's not a deadly virus. It's not the way they describe it and they sell it to the people, but all the people are on this corona train. To us, that the test, when you're tested positive, if this is really true, you have to understand that that so many hospitals and doctors and the pharma mafia, they all belong to the other people, to the Satanists. They bought them. And not only that, they also blackmail these doctors, for example. People are dying and people get sick, but not because of the coronavirus. It's because of the 5G. And this is another thing. So they do it secretly. They test the 5G under the smoke screen of corona. And this is what's really going on. So it's not corona. And you will see that corona will be healed and will disappear suddenly after they finished this testing period. And of course they will say, yes, it was because of the shutdowns, it was because of the methods, and they will lie to the people, as they always do, because we have to see that Satan always lies and deceives. We must never forget that. It's Satan behind it. Yeah, this is what the Holy Spirit really showed me this morning. That all that's happening at the moment is a big lie and it's a fake. Still, there are already viruses in the bodies, and then they break out, and it's winter time, so it's always the season where people get sick with flu and colds. So the symptoms are similar to corona. You have to see the big picture and not just part of it, and don't listen to what they tell you, because the news, you have to filter the news. You have to filter anything you hear, because they want to deceive you, and people are they follow so quickly the wrong one. This is really, wow, this is dangerous, but also kind of amazing that they don't follow Jesus. You can talk and really show, and miracles are happening, but they don't follow. But as soon as the other side does something, the mass is just following them.
So if they come knocking on the door, don't give any information. They don't need to be let in. You have your rights. TM Films also has a short clip. Let's watch.
I know that for a few of you, this information is going to be hard to accept, but the world of healthcare was hijacked in 1910 by the ultra-wealthy Rockefeller and Carnegie foundations, which replaced it with something called the medical system. And these foundations created medical schools, they published medical textbooks, they propagandized the public with their entertainment industries, and they produced generations of doctors who believe all this to be true. Knowledge dispels fear, and without that fear, you cannot be driven to react in predictable ways. We know that this collapse is engineered, that the world without this elite influence would run along quite nicely, thank you very much. And now we know why there were no leaks from the last Bilderberg meeting. They couldn't really have the timeline to this current crisis. And if we do nothing, then this agenda will march onwards towards a horrific future beyond anything we can possibly imagine, our worst nightmares. It's a future that only psychopaths can imagine. The psychopaths that rule the world right now. The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. I truly hope this is a dress rehearsal. It's possible that this is only really an excuse for a massive technology upgrade to 5G and the complete surveillance and punishment system. If I'm right, it will seem to be over in a few weeks, but the fishhook will already be in. The systems will be in place so that every single social activity we engage in will be under the watchful eye of the state, and we will become nodes on the Internet of Things that can be controlled or eliminated with frequency weapons at will.
And they could be very well right about this. So let's all keep our eyes out and keep each other posted. Trying to stay on TM Films and also Enter the Stars. Because he just noticed, as well as I'm sure you've all heard by now, that Trump signed the 5G and beyond.
Then, lo and behold, I find out that while all of us were locked in our houses, Trump signed 5G and beyond. H.R. 2881. Wonder how Q and the Trumpeteers are going to write this one off. How are they going to deflect this one? Secure 5G and Beyond Act of 2020, signed by your wonderful president on 3/23. 5G and Beyond, signed by the president. The bill requires the president, in consultation with relevant federal agencies, to develop a strategy to secure and protect U.S. fifth and future generations 5G systems and infrastructure, and an implementation plan for the strategy. Now, many people thought, they were saying that they thought 5G was causing this whole thing we just went through, but actually it was a little bit different. This is what they were doing. So I guess they were on to something. This isn't fake news. So, this untested technology that is proven to make many, many, many people sick, that the elite refuse to put in their little enclaves, is now going to be rolled out to all the rest of us. So, headaches, anxiety, depression, this will probably be eventually rolled out to all of our schools, according to this law. I don't know the details of the law yet, but get ready to have your brains cooked. This is it. And I think the bombshell here is that all this went down under the cover of the Kahuna Cyrus. It was an integral part of this military upgrade. Now, why would our network here, our 5G domestic network, why would that have anything to do with our military and their ability to accelerate and upgrade their military to artificial intelligence? Why would domestic 5G have anything to do with that? Wouldn't that be something that would be like overseas in the battlefield? Why does it matter that 5G domestic network is up and running? Because it's all for us. Why would they pick him to do it? Because he has most of the truth community fooled. They were the ones who never wanted 5G and 6G. So they're like, okay, we'll get a guy. We'll put Trump in. He'll be the truther guy, right? Have him throw out some bones. Have him mention Blind 11 a couple times. And how he's going to have a committee to reopen that investigation, which he never did. Have him do all these different things. Have him say all these things he'll never do. And then put them to sleep. And then we'll get this 5G and beyond passed. It's exactly what he did. And you guys all fell for it. Not you guys on this channel, but a lot of the truth channels out there. Oh, the U.S.-Israel Cybersecurity Center of Excellence Act. 2488. See the 88? There's your little secret code. It was in the other bill, too. This is a different bill. In the House right now, that was May 2019, a bill to require Secretary of State to submit a report on potential benefits and impact to the United States of establishing a joint U.S.-Israel Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. All right.
And I have a video on the social credit score system and how Israel will be the cybersecurity of the world. Go ahead and watch that as well.
5G and beyond. Infinity and beyond. Seriously?
Yep, Trump signed that while we're all in our homes. To infinity and beyond. Thank you, Trump. Well, perhaps we should watch more of The Simpsons or maybe I Pet Goat for their point of view. I mean, that's where we're getting a lot of the information on what they're planning. Well, regardless of the chem sprays or the 5G or just trying to stay positive about this, all we can do is trust. Trust in God. God always keeps his promises. The Lord himself goes before you and he will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. He promises, I am always with you. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Remember that. Remember that. Say that. Pray that. Keep his words close to you, because we are more than conquerors with Jesus Christ. With him. We are nothing without him. Whatever the truth is, All I can say is we're trying to keep our eyes out, and I'm sure many people are out there. And I thank all the subscribers that always send me links and information. That's all we can do is work together. All right, so stay calm, but most importantly, stay close to Christ. God bless. Till next time.